I love me some mellow yellow. It's Mountain Dew, but it's not as high citrus, and it actually has a lot less calories than Mountain Dew as well. But in this video, we're going to be primarily focusing on Moana 2. How's it going, everyone? Texas Man here, back with another video. I hope that you guys, of course, are all having a wonderful day. If you guys would, please give the video a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy it, and subscribe, of course, if you guys haven't already. Here on the channel, I talk about movies, TV shows, and tabletop games, and from time to time, I will also cover video games here on the channel. We're going to be talking about Moana 2 here in 2024. The film was rated PG, and it's about an hour and 40 minutes long. Moana, the first one, came out 8 years ago. Just let that sink in for a second. It took them 8 years to make a sequel to probably one of the best Disney animated films of current Disney era filmmaking. Now, Moana 2, I want to state right off the bat, it is not as good as the first. I think the first one is just way better in terms of character, story, the emotional beats, the character depth and arcs, the journey that Moana goes on during the film, and, the whole island hopping adventure and dealing with some Greek mythology with demigods and all that stuff. It all worked really well. Not all of it worked perfectly, but I think it was a good movie. And I still like watching it with people that haven't seen it. And I think it's a good Disney film, and it broke the mold where we have a Disney female-centered character film, and she's not a princess. She's not Cinderella. She's not Sleeping Beauty. She's not Snow White. It was one of those films that broke away from that kind of a mold, following in the same way of Frozen, more or less. This is a film, Moana 2, that I was very excited to see. Unfortunately, I was honestly disappointed. This feels like a Disney Plus show, but stretched to make a 90-minute film runtime. And for those of you who don't know, this movie was supposed to be a Disney Plus show. It was supposed to be in chronological order. We were supposed to have Moana for 2016. We were supposed to get a Disney Plus show of Moana. And that's what this film feels like. And then we were supposed to get a proper Moana 2 that was supposed to wrap everything up and conclude the storyline. What Disney has done now is they're like, no, we don't want to do that. So they're just going to make a Moana trilogy. Because the film here with the post-credit scene clearly leaves the door open for a third film in the franchise. And I don't know if I care. I don't know if I care all that much anymore. This film kind of has killed my excitement for this universe that Disney has created. Now, there are numerous references, Easter eggs to the original from 2016. But none of it, is really all that impactful. It doesn't impact the story greatly. It's just there as fan service. Hey, you remember this character that died in the first movie? Well, here they are again. And they're still in ghost form. It's really? Now, they do introduce this new character of Moana's new baby sister. So they introduce this, sisterly bond between them two. And I like that. I think anybody that has a sibling is going to be able to connect to these two characters, and Moana and whatever her baby sister's name is. You're going to be able to connect to them on an emotional level just because of what happens in the movie. Now, I do wish that it was further developed, and I hope that it will be in Moana 3, given how the film ends and leaves the door open for future adventures. My two biggest issues, aside from the fact that this feels like a Disney Plus show stretched into a movie, my two biggest issues are the following with this film. First off, there are way too many characters in this film. And many of them are either idiots, they are underdeveloped, they have very little screen time, such as Moana's parents, who were a very gigantic focal point of the original film, or there are characters in this film that serve literally no purpose to the entire plot of this film. They literally could have been written out of the script and the film would not have changed whatsoever. And I can give you a couple examples. First off, Moana's crewmates. They're idiots. They're underdeveloped. They get very little screen time. And if you cut them out completely from the film would not be different. Because they don't do anything! Also, there's this guardian bat lady who you think is the villain for the film. And then you find out, oh, she's just this guardian witch lady that can transform into a bat. And she's just protecting this portal from the surface level to hell, I guess, or something like that. It makes no sense. But even the trailer sets her up to be the new antagonist from Moana. And I'm just like she's in the film for like 3 minutes. She gets a musical number. And then once Moana gets to the portal thing and goes in, she's gone from the film. She never shows up. And I'm just like, why was she in this movie? Like, what? We just needed the character to do a dance number. I'm just like, a musical number. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, if the character felt so useless in this film, could completely written her out of the film and it wouldn't have changed. Second thing I did not like about this film, the movie spends literally 2/3 of the runtime doing a bunch of world building and character setup and explaining what's happened between the 3 years, between the end of the first film and the beginning of this film. There's been a 3-year time gap. So that's what the first 2/3 of the movie does, is a bunch of explaining to the audience and treating you like an idiot. Then in the third act, it is nearly the same thing as the first film. It's a nearly carbon copy. Don't know why it is around this time of year we're getting these carbon copy rehashes like Gladiator 2. Watch my review if you haven't yet. But the film is nearly the same thing where humans have to get to an island to end a curse. And there are some changes, given that there's really no villain in this film to put to a face. And instead, the main group literally goes up against a mega tornado storm. And at the end, spoilers, at the end, Moana, for no clear reason except to allow this certain thing to happen, Moana gets hit by lightning, she dies, and then through spirit power or whatever, she gets revived and reborn as a demigod. So Moana now can live for hundreds and thousands of years and watch her baby sister and her parents die and everybody else that she's ever met and lived with on her island. She will outlive them all because now she's a demigod. She is basically immortal in terms of aging. She'll never age. Sign me up, I guess. But I don't think the film writers for the script understand the ramifications of this. Because now Moana will not only never age, but she's going to outlive her baby sister, which, I hate to break it to you, is just humanly wrong. It's wrong, okay? I know people are like, I want to live forever. Do you ever think of what happens if you're the only one that lives forever and everyone else just dies around you? What happens in 200 years? Like, just look at Captain America. Man out of time kind of thing. We have our time here on Earth, and eventually we have to go back into the ground. It's just how it is. Yeah. So those are the two things I didn't like is, lack of good characters, and a lot of the film just feels wasted. Like, it feels, like I said, a lot of wasted time because it's a Disney show stretched into a film. Next thing I want to talk about is the music. I know a lot of people are going to complain because the music is not being done by the person that did the original. However, me personally, I thought the songs were fine. I honestly thought that a lot of them were better than the first film and less cringe. Like, I'm so shiny! Na 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 na. I'm like, God, that song irritates me every time I watch that film. There's even a song that is a good competitor against How Far I'll Go, and I think it's a really good song. I think it's called I'll Go Beyond, something like that. Anyway, in conclusion, Moana 2, it's visually stunning. It has a cool enough adventure. It is slightly predictable, as most Disney and most sequel films are, but it's a good family film, and I do want the plot to get concluded with the third entry. It is clean, fun family adventure. There's no gay crap or woke messaging. It's just a good family adventure. And if you're looking for that for the Thanksgiving holidays and you haven't been impressed from what you've heard about when it comes to Gladiator or Wicked Part 1, Moana 2 is definitely a good film to check out for the holiday season here during Thanksgiving. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to give Moana 2 a 7 out of 10. If you guys have missed out on my review of the first Moana, I do have a playlist that should be popping up here. You guys can check out my video of that there. Have a good one. Bye, guys.